everyone, it's Rachel here and I'm super excited to be finishing off my pouchy pouch. So what I'm doing here is just a running stitch along the pocket. It's folded over. I've just pinned it. It doesn't matter, actually doesn't even matter if I come through here because I've done my running stitch, my cantha stitching. Oh, and I didn't even catch it there. My cantha stitching, I don't want super long stitches, I want little stitches. My cantha stitches are in the same thread. And I'm going reasonably straight because I've got a crease there that I'm just following along. So I thought I'd just show you this. It's a little bit, you know, I'm going through a lot of layers here, 2 layers of mattress ticking, which is quite often a tough sort of fabric to stitch, but I love the look. And also I'm going through, you know, there's batting in there and then there's the Boussac fabric. So I just need to stitch this down first and then I can, and if you have your finger underneath, you can feel if you've gone through, even though, as I said, I don't really care if I do go through. It's just adding another little stitch. And that one went through, but it doesn't matter. Got to make sure I catch. And you don't, I mean, I don't have to do neat stitches. You're not going to be able to see it. It's a little bit tough here. I have zoomed in a little bit, so I really hope I don't go off camera. I'll just go through there. And then I also want to catch it here and end it off. I mean, it's a very bodgy way of doing it. You could be all neat and you could, you know, machine stitch reverse sides and then turn it and have neat edges, but that's not what my pouch is about. I'm not Little Miss Neat, so I don't care. I don't worry about it. I'm thinking I may trim a bit of this excess off. And then I'm going to do a little whip stitch. I could even put you could even, I'm not going to because, as I said, I'm not worried about it. You could even put a lovely trim across there. Not that you're going to be able to see it because it's going to be folded up. So I'm just going to go in here. And here I don't want to go through, but I've got that many layers, I can pretty much just catch the Boussac fabric and just stitch that on, just so it doesn't sort of, you know, it's stitched down. It's not going anywhere. As I get along a bit further, I'll be able to put my hand underneath and, yep, you can feel whether you're going through or not. And in this case, with this type of stitching, I don't want to because then I'll get stitches going in the opposite direction too. Not that it matters, it just all adds texture. It really doesn't. If you get these funny stitches going through the other side, you're just adding a bit more texture and interest to the piece. So, sorry, that's my computer just making noises, telling me things. And again, thank you. Ask him if I want to enable things. Oh, will you stop it? Just stop it, would you, computer? So whiz along here, and then I'll show you how I'm going to stitch. Actually, no, first I'm going to stitch on my button. I need to do that because I'll lift up this pocket because otherwise it'll be in my way, and I need to stitch my button on. That needs to happen before anything else happens. Nearly forgot about that. Although I would manage to stitch it on even when it's all stitched up. Just stick my hand in there. But it would be more fiddly. So we'll do it now, as regular people do. Okay, so that's stitched on, and it makes it nice and neat-ish. I'll put this is my lovely needle, pin cushion that Pam made me using, actually I might flip it over and use the other side for a bit. Oh, yes, it's reversible. Gorgeous Pam. And it was Anne Wood free tutorial on her website, on her blog, Anne Wood. Okay, so let me just fold this over and get the positioning. So I'm just going to pull that out. And what other pins did I put in here? I need to just take these out and move this out of the way when I get ready to stitch. So just close that. Here's my button that we made the last week. That looks about the middle to me. Love it. So happy with it. And I'm going to grab what thread? Blue. I've got my beautiful French blue that I love here. I'm going to use that to stitch it on. It's just a perlé cotton. You call it whatever you want. Perlé. I've always called it perlé. Now, if you wanted to be fussy, you could. I'm just going to do one of these knots. You could slide your knot under there. Let's be fussy. Not that you'll be able to see the knot inside the pouch. I'm just going to slide it in there and already go through my hole. Oh, wrong hole. That one. Oh, so excited. Absolutely love it. And now I can sew it on properly. I think I'll go through 3 or 4 times. Oh, I didn't say that in my button video, but it's probably too late now. But anyway, you can buy pastel colours of Fimo too. So you could, you know, choose a Fimo that's in the colours of your thing, like a colourful, and then stamp it still. It would, you know, use the black and stamp it, and it will still work. I've just got to get a few little knots in there. And it's really hard, the button. It's not going anywhere. It's not going to, when I drop it, it won't, if I drop it, which I probably will, I drop everything, it won't break like a ceramic button would. Okay. Although Mum hasn't broken her little cat that I put on her needle book. So these would be really nice. You know, my needle book course, the slow stitch needle books. Where's mine? They'd be really nice on there. Where are they? Where is it? I don't know. It's here somewhere. I've got a huge mess over there on my stitchy table. I need to tidy it up. Lots of things going on there. So I've got my button on. And my next thing I need to look at too, before I go any further, because I'll forget, I'm going to put a this jute cord, which I absolutely love. I'm going to put that on as a wraparound. So let's wrap it around. I need to put a knot in the end, number 1. I'm just going to have a bit of a rustic closure, so I want it to wrap around. It'll stay fairly tight, so that's good. And so I just need to cut it there. This is how I do it, guys. And then I'll slot it in there and pin it in place. And this, I got this from a wholesaler here. It's wonderful stuff, and I haven't used it for ages, but I used to always put it in my, I used to use it on my pouches. So that will slide in there. I mean, this is how you do it. And put a pin in it to hold it. Yes, there we go. Oh, I'm so excited. Okay, so my next job is to come back here, pin my pocket in place so it doesn't move. I wonder if I need to trim it down at all. So I think the first thing I'll do is actually stitch along here. So no, I'm going to remove that again. Oh my goodness, make up your mind, Rachel. I've got to go through the steps. This is my issue. There are steps to be done. I'm going to do this bit first. Oh my gosh, and I dropped my thread. I'll just loop it over here. It can stay on the floor. So, hopefully I was on screen for all of that. I can't see. Oh yes, I am on. I think I am. Yep. Just stay on the mat, Rachel. the first half of the mat. That's what I need to tell myself. Stay on the mat. Oh, can you get a knot in your thing? Okay, so this is going to fold over. I'm just going to catch it there. Can just have a raw edge now. I've just got to work this little bit out here because this is my, I shouldn't have stitched down my lace so quickly. I should have left it open there, and I thought about it when I was doing it, and you know, I don't listen to myself. I don't listen. There's no listening happening. Just want to catch that. No, it's going to be okay. I'll manage it. I had more pins here. I did finish off my wall hanging too. I might share that on Instagram. It's just thinking about how to photograph it. So I will just manage to stitch that in there somehow. I'm pinning it now, so that way I can do the other bit. That's it. Now let me see here. I want this to go in there and stitch that across. That's it. Okay. Now being messy can be quite a fiddly business. So I'm just going to start in here. And, oh, this needle is way too thick. I need something thinner, this one. If you're having trouble pushing your needle in, it just might be too thick for the type of work that you're doing, so just grab one that's a little bit thinner, sharp and thin. This is what I want here. Actually, I might show you my wall hanging at the end of this video, and I will eventually post. So I've got to figure out how to photograph it because it's so big on Instagram. And I'm tangled on the pins because I've got pins galore happening here, and it will be a little bit like that until I get a few more stitches in. Okay, so now I need to catch that bit. There's not much to stitch onto here because I've got the fringe, and the fabric's actually a bit lower, so I probably should have folded it down a little further, but it is what it is. So I need to come down here and catch. There's my fabric. I'm just moving my thread over, so I don't want to, I didn't want to stitch down all of the fringy bit. That was my whole purpose. I'm catching the, I'm just sliding it into the batting and the edge of that fringy fabric. So they're actually quite big stitches, but you can hardly even see them. I just make a note to myself. Make sure you fold it down far enough, dear. the price you have to pay to keep the fringe, huh? Thank goodness I can't see my stitches because it's all blending in. My big dog's teeth stitches. Did I just unthread? I did. Well, that's a useless one, isn't it? Now I won't show you the full construction because I'm just showing you the bits. I'll do this, but and then I'll show you other bits, and then I'll do some off camera, obviously, because it would take me a while. Not that long. It won't take that long to do. Just these fiddly bits take a while. There's a few fiddly bits. There's always something fiddly to do. But I'm not in a hurry, am I? It's meant to be fun. Yes, what possessed me not to do my fold lower down is beyond me. It's a mystery. It will remain a mystery. Okay, nearly there. It's just trying to move the fringe over so I don't flatten it all. It's okay, we're getting there. It'll do. It's just for me. It doesn't have to be perfect. Oh, and I got a question, although this is going to be posted quite a bit after the question, because as you know, I'm pre-recording, so that way I can get my third project into at least, you know, the first few videos of that. So when I, you know, because I'll be in Australia when that one's happening. So I had a question. Oh, what do you do with all the pouches that you make? Well, I love pouches, and I'm going to stitch this down a bit too. I have purchased pouches as well, and I just keep them. And when I'm doing projects, I might, you know, if I go away somewhere, I'm going to flatten this. I'm going to put my projects in the pouches, and I might have one for threads. I might have one for beads. So yeah, I take them away with me, or I carry projects around in them. Yeah, I just like to put things in them. So yeah, I do use them. My one from Pam has the journal in it that she made for me. She actually, when I went to Australia for Christmas the last time, so not this Christmas, the one before, so a year ago, a bit more than a year ago, Pam had sent, we did videos and shared them, but Pam had sent Mum, Sass and I all a beautiful pouch and a journal in it for Christmas, and it was under the tree. So kind, Pam. That's Pam from Pandora's Junk Journals, if anyone doesn't know Pam. And she has a wonderful channel where she shares mostly things that she's made. Sometimes she'll do tutorials. So then around here, so that's good. I'm happy with that. I can take that pin out and I can take that pin out. When I come around here, I'm not worrying about my pocket yet. I just want to stitch down. It's kind of like my bias binding, but it's not really bias binding because it's not on the bias. It's just fabric rolled over the edge. So what I'm going to do here is just go round, slide between the layers and stitch this down. Hopefully. I don't know if I'm catching it. I might even have that. I might even come through that. Make sure. I'm catching. That's what I'm going to do. So just turn it. I've rolled it. Now I'm going to hold it and just, actually I came up too high there. I'm just going to catch my, I can feel that I'm catching it, and I can also feel that I'm not going through to the other side. And you'll hardly even be able to see these stitches because the thread is pretty much the same color as the lace. That's how I'm solving that issue, that not well thought through issue that I have. You just have to problem solve and get yourself through it. You know, we're not using a pattern, we're making it up, so there will be some, if you're doing something not usual, you might find that you do have a few things that you need to problem solve. But you won't even know. Look at this. You won't even see it. I just wanted to get to the other more normal, in inverted commas, normal bit, just to show you how I'm going to proceed with that. And I am just going to, here I am, I'm here, I've got a little bit of thread left. Just catch, can you see? Just catch my outer layer and slide through the layers, and then just catch my edging here. And I'm going to try and do smaller stitches. I'm just going to try and catch on the edge there, which is why you kind of need a smaller, sharper needle so you can do that. And you almost can't even see those stitches. And you just push your needle forward in between the layers. So I'm going to stop here. I'm going to go round here. I'm just going to whip over there. I'll put a few extra stitches in there. So I'll go around and finish all of that off, and then we'll secure the pocket, and I'll show you how I'm going to stitch it up. And it's nearly done. I'm so excited. Fun to have a finished project, isn't it? So yeah, I could have worked a bit harder on it and gotten more made, but you know, there's lots of other things going on too. So I'll just show you the starting off of a new thread that need to be done. So I might as well just do one and do it well, hopefully well. Okay, so literally just to start off a new thread, just pop it under, get your needle and just push it in, and then off you go again. Okay, I'm going to pause you and then I will be back. So I'm back. It's all stitched. I just love it. That's what it looks like open. I love the detail here. And we're going to turn it over. And this is going to fold up with that. Now this is now when I need to pin it. So I'll put some pins in just to hold it in place so it doesn't wiggle about. And I'll give you an idea. All we need to now do, yep, that's all going to catch. So fold it up where it needs to fold, line it up. Mine will probably be a bit wonky. It's super easy now, the finishing. So let me just pin here. I was going through a lot of layers, that's why I get bent pins. I'm just going to pin it there. And all I need to do now is, I might do this side first so you can see. Make sure, I'm going to just do a little whip stitch across here and close that. I'm actually thinking it probably would be ideal. Sorry, I'm now having a second thought. It would be ideal if I just put a little whip stitch to hold my pocket, because I'm thinking I'm only going to be going on the outside there. And where's my pin gone? My needle. Needle, where have you gone? Now I can't see it. There's another one. It's a bit fine for this work. You need something that's not too thick, but also also sturdy. Oh, it's over there, it fell over. I'm actually just going to go like this. I'm just going to do a little whip stitch along here just to make sure my pocket stays. Won't take long. On screen, yes. Just trim that little piece off. So I'm just catching the lining and stitching my pocket so it doesn't make, just because I could go, I might catch it, but I might not. So sliding in, ow, stabbing myself. It's all happening. And then I need to do one more thing. Well, two more things. I've got to stitch it closed, and then I want to do one more thing. And I'm super in love with my pouch. I'm really pleased. It's turned out exactly how I wanted. I've used some favorite things in there, which I always think is really important when you're making things, is use some of your favorite things, because I have so many favorite things and they just sort of sit in the drawers or in the boxes, and it's a long time before they see daylight. And then I'll do the other side. Now I don't want it shooting out the side, so just trim a tiny bit off. Imagine if I cut my pouch. Don't even say it, Rachel. Don't even say it after all that work. There we go. I'm just going to slide in there because I don't want to have a big knot that I can see at the top of my, at the opening there of my pouch. We didn't need that, did we? We didn't need me to unthread. The more I do hand stitching, and hardly any machine stitching, the more I realize how much I enjoy hand stitching, and it's so much less stressful than the machine. Like the machine, sometimes I'd go out of control. This needle is a bit thick. Out of control on the machine, and I'd be stressed, and my stitching was really crooked. And there's something like crooked hand stitching gives you a different feel to crooked machine stitching. And I just don't feel like I even want to pull out the machine. I used to love it. I used to use it for everything. I think definitely, like if you're making zipper pouches and stuff and you're selling them and you've got a market where people are not so willing to pay for your time, there's something to be said for, you know, the making up of things with the machine, because it's time saving. But I certainly prefer the feel of something completely handmade, completely, you know, hand stitched. Now this here is not what I would call, this is not slow stitching, this is just hand stitching. Slow stitching is what we did to create the front. Just because you do a running stitch to hold something down, like this pocket here, that's not slow stitching, that's just hand stitching. Hand stitching, slow stitching is really more, the whole process of collaging your fabrics, having raw edges, having wonkiness, taking the time to maybe invisible baste it all down, then doing your cantha stitching on top, putting embellishments. Then you might do some hand embroidery of flowers, but that's hand embroidery. Let's not confuse embroidery with slow stitching. it's a whole process. It's not just doing a running stitch. You know, I've heard people in the journaling world, so I had those antique, well, those old journals that I bought, if you all remember, that had the person who made them had hand stitched the laces onto the edges of the pages, and many people have made them since, which, you know, wonderful, great inspiration for everybody. And just saying, oh, they've slow stitched the lace down the edge of the page, but really that's not slow stitching, that's just hand stitching. They've just done a running stitch. It's not to be confused with the whole process of what slow stitching is. There's a lot of confusion about it, I think. So yeah, like if I embroider a flower there, that's embroidery. I might put it on a piece. This is the slow stitching, all of this, the collaging, the stitching it so it's really stitched down. You don't have a lot of loose, you know, puckery sort of fabrics. Just taking the time and putting the necessary stitches in and thinking about it while you're doing it and relaxing, contemplating. And I'm not a big contemplator, but I do actually find myself thinking about things and dwelling on things, and yeah, as I'm doing it. I'm going to use the other needle because this one, again, as I said, it's a bit thick for going through all the layers. So I'm going to use this one that I couldn't find before, but I have now found it. So I might stitch this one on first. So all I need to do is slide my knot in there, and I just need to come up on the edge. Now you could use like a contrasting thread if you want to do that. I don't want to, and I'm just going to slide in and across. And I probably won't, I want it to be well stitched, so I'm not going to put my stitches too far apart, and I kind of really want them more come up on the edge there. Am I on the screen? Yes. So slide in and come forward. I'm going to pull them tight in a minute. Yep, so they just sort of become a bit more invisible. Yeah, this is exactly what I wanted. And except for the big first dog's tooth stitch there, you can't see the other stitches. So you see why I whip stitched my pocket in, because I realized when I did this I probably wasn't going to catch the pocket. So what has my process been? It's been create the exterior of the pouch, always being mindful of the positioning of the fabrics, where your folds are and everything. I put my lining. I had my, well, it was all stitched onto the batting. Then I put my lining. Then I decided to put a pocket. So I put my pocket and I stitched that down at the bottom. And then I stitched on my button. I slotted in my cord. I'm becoming a bit dog's toothy here. Slotted in my cord. And then I rolled around my lining, because I cut it bigger, around the outside of most of the, no, on these sides I put it inside, here I put it outside. I whip stitched my, I stitched all of that down, and then I stitched my pocket on the sides just to make sure it stayed, it stayed where it should. did I say I had stitched on my button before all of that? I think I said that. And then now we're just doing the stitching down the edge here to close it. So I did this side first because this side doesn't have the lace, and so it's more visible. So if there's any unevenness, which there might be, that will be camouflaged by the lace on the other side. So I've knotted that. That's 1, 2 is over here, and I'll start, just move my lace out of the way. I can slide my, oh no, I think I'll just put my knot here. Just tuck it in. Use your needle sometimes too to tuck things in, it's helpful. I'm just going to put an extra stitch there to make sure it's held, and then do the sliding. And this one, with this one, just adjust it, make sure it's all going according to plan. So exciting. Nearly there. I keep stabbing myself. I'm actually standing to do this. I can't wait to see what the inside looks like with the pocket, because I usually make them without a pocket. Although I used to make these, what were they? Across the shoulder bags for kids, and I used to put a pocket in. Here's a bit chunky, but we will just pull and tug. Put a few stitches in there just to stitch it closed. There we go, yay! My fingers are a bit sore because like if I'm just sliding along there, it's not too bad, but then you do catch bits that are a bit thicker, especially down here. Put one more knot in just in case. And it is finished. Grab my scissors. No, not quite finished. Right. Oh, it's not even straight. But you won't even notice. So that's going to be, oh, I love it. So let's have a look at the pocket. There's my, oh, I've got pins. I was thinking, what did I do? I stitched it closed. I've got pins in there. Ding dong. Okay. And there, look at that, I've got a pocket. So you don't even hardly notice that down there. You've got like this lovely little pocket in it. And what I wanted to do now, just one more thing, was to stitch that there. I'm wondering, would I like to, I was wondering if I would like to have something else. Oh my gosh, those people upstairs are bashing. No, I don't think I want any more. I thought I might like a few more patches, but I think I'll just have the one. So just one more piece of thread. And I'll stitch around that, and then we are really done. And I'm absolutely in love with my button. I think it's perfect. So just pop under here with your knot, and I'm just going to do a little whip stitch and catch it. I can feel if I'm going right through, and I'm definitely not. There's that many layers. I think there's a yo-yo there as well. That's why I left that long. My other thought was I could have stitched that down on that side, but I actually like it when it's closed. I like that shooting out the side there. If I saw that it was, if I did carry this around a little bit and I saw that it was becoming a little bit tatty, I might then decide to stitch it down. But for the time being, it's going to stay as it is. Nearly there. One more. There we go. Done. I'm going to consider my pouch done. So that just wraps around there. Excuse me. Perfect. Well, not perfect, but it's good enough. So there is my pouch. Let's just flip it over. Oh, I love that. Love the blank bit there. Yep, loving the colours, really me. Love that shooting out the side. That's what I see. Would look too regular if I tuck that in. I like that shooting out the side. Got the cute button that I made. Open it up, and then this is a little bit crooked, but who cares? And then I've got 2 compartments, so I can put things. I could have like my needle book in there on one side, and I could have my project. I could have a few threads in there. So really fun. So very pleased with that. So thank you so much for following along, and I hope everybody had fun with it and got some inspiration, new method of making buttons, and we will be moving on to the next project. So have a wonderful day, and I will see you again soon. Bye.